See, it lets you know when I'm recording too. All right, so welcome to the November 2021 meeting of IPMS London. Good to see everyone again. Weather's starting to turn colder. I'm just going to share the screen here. And we're just going to do that. And we go share and all the usual stuff. I didn't hear from Carrie to hear if there was any IPMS Canada stuff. But we've got some exciting news. The best news for those of you, as Jeff mentioned, who are on Facebook. Heritage Con is back. Alan and IPMS Hamilton and the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum officially announced it today. It's going to be March the 27th, gentlemen. So set your calendars and get your builds ready. So it's time to have a show again. So yeah, that's really, really good news. Gonna be good. Yeah, don't know what else I need to say about that. It's an awesome spot to have a contest. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Yep, looking forward to seeing some folks from the States back up and all that good stuff. Okay, club business, really nothing else. Again, we're waiting to hear. We'll hopefully be meeting at Fanshawe College come January. But we're still waiting for the confirmation of that once things are freed up from the college. But we will, of course, our hardworking secretary, Jeff, will, of course, send out notifications about that. And for those of you who are a little bit further away, we are planning to do a Zoom recording live while it's there. So you can sit in virtually. I'm talking to Harold and Terry. So
are we going to have to pay for parking?
I believe it's free at that time of night. I did ask.
Frank confirmed that after business hours, parking is free there, so that shouldn't be a problem. But Stuart, is the ball in our court or in their court as far as?
It's in their court. It's in Frank's court. He's waiting to hear back from the college. I have indicated I would prefer obviously it's going to be an accessible location, but something close to a parking lot so people don't have to walk far.
Yeah, perfect.
So or like a handicap spot or whatever. So yeah. So we're looking forward to that. That'll be awesome. Apparently the room he's thinking of, it's already video conference capable. So I don't have to bring in any extra gear and we can just do a Zoom thing with a camera and that'll be really cool as well. So we are planning to continue that. And then once we figure that out, then the executive's going to meet. We'll figure out like membership dues and all that because we are getting a deal on this. So at some point between now and then, the executive's going to meet and hash out all that fine details. So that's about it from what I know of. Jeff, is there anything else you can think of for club business?
No, I have nothing to add to that, Stuart.
Okay, Bill, nothing on your side of the fence?
No.
Okay. Well, like I said,
Bill, are we still planning for to have a show next September?
I would like to say yes. I'd like to talk to, you know what? I haven't even really given it a lot of thought. I've just been beat up horribly by this whole experience, so I haven't really thought of it. But I guess it would be time to start looking at it.
I know Frank mentioned that he could also get us a very good rate at the college for similar size space, because of course right now the Carling Heights is still for the foreseeable future being used as an assessment center. Yeah. I keep asking and trying to find out how long they think, and I keep hearing there's no definitive end date.
Well, that was kind of where my question was leading to. That if Heritage Con is going ahead in March, we probably should get thinking about what we're going to do in the fall.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a few issues there with, like, you know, we obviously don't want to step on IPMS Ottawa's toes and stuff like that. But yeah, I agree, definitely. Again, something else I had for the agenda for an executive meeting. So, but again, if we can get a good deal on a weekend and free parking, 2 big spaces, hopefully that would work out very, very well as well. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, let's move on. Does anyone have any questions on club business before I move on?
I'm not truly a member of your club, but when you're talking about a show,
Yeah.
Thinking there's also the Torcan and let's go Wellington County shows that might be taking place in the fall next year.
Yeah, what we normally do in the past, we had a gentleman's agreement with IPMS Ottawa. We each do our shows every 2 years, and we were doing alternating. But with COVID, they might want to do one this year. So we've got to talk to them, and if worst comes to worst, we'll try and do alternating weekends. We've never had a problem with Torcam or with the Guelph show. We normally do ours in September.
Oh, good. Okay.
So yeah, the fall classic, as we call it, where gentlemen meet, civilization happens over the swap tables, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so let's move right on the tables. Look who we start with, Mr. Jeff, and his single picture.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Oh.
This has been you've seen some of these in progress, but they're pretty much almost done except for mounting, that sort of thing. So from right to left, I've got the Airfix de Havilland Chipmunk in one set. All these are 1/72nd scale. With my wife in the back seat. I think I've shown you this before, but I finally managed to find the right decals for the numbering on the cowling, and I'm reasonably comfortable with where this is going. So there it is. Next to it is the Revell 172 D7, Fokker D7. And this was a kit that my youngest daughter gave me about 10 years ago. And I said, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't build these things, but thank you. This is great. It's the only kit any of my kids ever gave me. And I was really wanted to build it because she did give it to me. And she liked it because it was colorful. So I started building it, but the problem is the decals for the underside of the wings is supposed to be lozenge fabric, but the decal is just black and white. It's like a little color by numbers thing. You're supposed to paint every single lozenge individually. And I thought that's nuts, but I took it as a challenge, and I've actually done it. And so.
Oh, you muted your mic, Jeff.
So there you go. It's I'm getting there.
Oh, hang on. I'll put the spotlight on you, and I'll turn off the sharing so people can see that.
So it's lousy focus, but you get a sense. That's all hand painted.
Wow.
And it took 2 days to do the whole plane, and there's the rest of it. So getting there.
Only
fine
2
job.
days.
Well,
Fine
2
job.
days of.
Oh, you muted yourself
Oh,
again. Quit muting
sorry.
yourself.
I'm using the space bar. I probably should just turn it off.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the Fokker D7. It's coming along, but as I was halfway through that, I decided I'm going to totally renovate my workshop. So, and my modeling studio, and so I've stopped doing any work.
Fancy.
So the other two, I guess you can put the picture back up.
Yeah, there you go.
The blue flying wing is the Sword Northrop N9MA, which is one of the kits that I picked up from the gentleman who was getting rid of his stash. It's not an easy kit to put together, but the fine detail is quite good, and it was really kind of fun. The underside is bright yellow. Apparently the N9MB had the colors reversed, so historical documents, and they're both almost exactly the same plane. And so historical photographs and documents are always confusing one plane for the other. And the next one on the far left is the Horton 9, which is the Gotha 229, or I forget what number they gave it. Anyway, this is a Pioneer 2 kit out of East Germany, or post-Soviet countries, one of them, in the early days when they were started into modeling, and it was a terrible kit. Still is a terrible kit. And the reason it sort of flopped on its belly is because the landing gear just was horrendous. So I molded I glued the doors closed, and I'm going to somehow put it into a flight mode, but I haven't quite figured that out yet. So that's that. And I didn't take a close-up picture because the decals are disintegrated. They're horrible looking. I couldn't even put them on the bottom side. So
Wow.
Anyway, that's my month.
Still looks good. All right.
Excuse me, Jeff, what kit is the Chipmunk?
The Chipmunk Airfix 172 old mold. Like if you look really closely at it, Tim, it's covered in rivets.
Okay, and did it have that canopy in the kit?
Yeah, it came with that canopy and another canopy with more of the canopy lines in it.
Oh,
Canopy
okay,
structure.
because yeah, I have that kit too, but I have an aftermarket blown canopy there, not the old one. So.
Yeah, this is the one. I was trying to model it based on the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum's chipmunk, and it has this canopy on it. So the real challenge with this was modifying the passenger figure so it tried to look like my wife, and she denies it looks like her, but I turned the head to one side so she's looking out the window, so that's good enough.
Again, we'll just have to get her 3D scanned and 3D printed. I'm just saying.
You know, this is like the size of a pinhead. Anyway.
So, yeah. Well, you know what? I really hope you have space to throw it in the in your stuff for Heritage Con. It'd be cool to see a picture of it with the real thing.
Yeah.
Together. Anyone else have a question?
Yeah, for the yellow on that, how did you get it to look so good? Anytime I've tried to shoot yellow, it's a disaster.
Well, it's just because I'm absolutely amazing. That's what I. That's the challenge.
Well, we know that, but
Humble too, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm humble. Oh yeah, absolutely. No, that's Vallejo, Vallejo Trainer Yellow, and I sprayed it with Tamiya white primer first, mixed 50-50 with leveling thinner, and then I just gave it a light rub down and then sprayed the yellow on it. It probably took about 6 coats to get the depth that I was looking for.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the challenge with yellow for me is you have to really a lot of light coats, and you just have to keep building it up and turn the hair dryer on and then build up another coat. And keep doing it.
Now, Harold was mentioning as well, Bill, what he's done in the past is pink Tamiya primer.
Yeah, I've heard that. I didn't know if Jeff had tried that on this one or not.
Yeah.
No, I haven't, but that is on my list of ones to try. I'm curious because sometimes I find the yellows are too yellow. They need a bit more of an orange tint for the proper trainer color, or at least in my view, the proper trainer color. So I'm kind of looking to try the pink undercoat and see if that helps.
Very cool. Okay, let's move on then. So let me see here. David, this is from your good wife. 3 pictures.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just make sure you unmute.
Yeah, this is a Corvette Roadster that she put together. Well,
Very nice.
hello?
Yep, we can hear you, Dave. You're there. Your video's gone, though. Did we lose Dave?
Dave's not here.
There he is. He's coming back a bit. We can hear you, Dave.
Oh, just everything.
There you go.
Yeah, she worked on that. And I painted it for her because she hasn't gotten used to the airbrush yet. But
Very
and,
nice.
she got her hoods to open up. So
Looks great.
Yep.
and it
Oops, hang on. I gotta go back a bit. I thought I may have went by one. Maybe I just had the same one. Nope, there you go. All 3. Yep.
if you see in the background, the Lockheed P2. I've got it started. So
Very good.
Looking
and
forward
then
to
my
seeing it.
next challenge is going to be a wooden model of the blue nose. Because
That'll
this
be-
year's the blue nose's anniversary of 100 years.
Right. Very good.
That'll be neat.
Very good. Okay, just give me a second here because I thought I had my PowerPoint preview on the other screen, but I didn't. So let me just, that way I have an idea of how many slides are left because we got a bunch here that Mr. Hill did next of his fabulous whirlybird. I'm really enjoying following the covering. I'm not sure what order these were, Mike. So
That's all
if you need me to go back and forth, please do.
right. Yes, it's a 172nd Willie Bird SN61N from the Canadian Coast Guard. And most of the time it was just used for ferrying people around. It did not have a winch So it was not a SAR, but I wanted to throw a stretcher in there. And somebody sent me a picture of one with a stretcher inside the RAF rescue bird. And I didn't pay that much attention to the detail because once it's in there and closed up, you'll just see something that will look like a. And there it is there.
I'll keep going.
And when I was gluing the fuselage together, I think my big fingers were a little rough on the tail cone. You can see that big twist. And I gave some thought to cutting the glue apart. And I thought, nah, this is pretty fragile back here. It might just snap on me. That I've been bigger problems than what I have. So I used a good old trick of soaking it in some warm water. I got the twist out of it and mounted the tail boom. There's a wee twist to the tail boom that I've done my best to correct, but
Looks good.
with not having a straight edge on it to line it up, it's kind of hard to do it. It's all sorts of funny curves to it, right? So there it is there. The spontoons were a wee bit of a hassle because unlike a proper injected molded kit, it's very similar to the vac forms I build. They just give you some rods and suggestions and say, go have fun. Somebody was nice enough to send me some nice 3-view drawings that I was able to get some basic dimensions off. Again, I couldn't really make a jig or proper dimensions because it's all curved and you don't know what angle it's on. So it was all by Mark 1 eyeball. And there I am putting some photo etched on the landing gear. The center one is the tail wheel. And what I'm kind of impressed with myself is if you look at the V from the hydraulic shock, there's a little brass rod in there. There was nothing there in the kit, so I drilled a hole and put a little piece of rod in there.
That's good.
My next adventure is going to, I'll probably paint it silver and I might stand out a little bit more.
And this was your rant from today, I believe.
This is my rant from today. I've gone through the instructions a number of times, and that cloudy 3-panel center section is not mentioned. So I assumed it stayed on the canopy and glued it, obviously fit it to the fuselage. And I fixed that big gap under the bottom. And then I pulled out, there it is there. That's the rough, it's not putty at that point, obviously. And I knew there was a nose cone to fit on or a nose cap to fit on. And I just assumed it would lay over top of that. And after making one of my posts this afternoon, I pulled that part out, slapped it on, and went, what? It sits far too proud. And then the little light went on. Oh yeah, cut that out and it'll just fit in there nicely. But as I said, I've gone through the instructions a number of times. There's not one word in there about cutting that part out. And if you could share the screen.
Your screen?
Yes.
Oh, hang on a sec. Let me turn off that. I think I've got that set up for you. Hang on a second. All right. Okay, go ahead and try it now, Mike.
Yeah, I just got to find that image. There it is. Okay, then I go here and go share screen, share. There we
There you go.
are.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So on the left is the lower left is that black section you're looking at. And on the right is that nose cap I was talking about. I actually have it sitting on the desk installed with some putty on it. But I'm just a little miffed that they did not say, at least nothing that I read, cut this section out. It would have been a lot easier to install it with the canopy off the aircraft.
Yeah, no kidding.
But again, that's the joy of building some of these limited run production things.
Exactly. Very cool.
Yeah, unusual use of the word joy in that context.
Yeah, build models, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
It'll be fun. Really. It's a
And relax.
retirement thing. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Michael.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I want to just spend a few seconds apologizing to Ron and the rest of the crowd that was in last month for my rude interruption.
That's okay. How is she doing?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, good, good. That's all that counts, buddy.
Yep, that's the main thing.
Mm-hmm. I see Robert here somewhere. I don't think he's here tonight. So this is his latest Gundam work, his kind of work in progress. This is it all put together.
Wow.
It's looking nice. Johnny, can you tell us what this is? Do you know?
I knew the Greek letter new. You know that?
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, this is a version that only exists in a novel, not the anime.
All right. All right.
It is very popular.
Right. Okay. I should have put it at the description when I got his email, but that's some of the components.
I'm just impressed that Johnny could do that on a dead stop. You just
knows
called
his
him out
Gundams.
like that.
I
and
know, but he knows his
and
Gundams.
he
man.
knew the answers right
He
off.
knows
That's
his
impressive.
Gundams. I know. That's because he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I can only recognize like a third to a fourth.
Well, that's
of
still a third to a
Gundam.
fourth more than I can. So
You don't. You don't
That's
need
one
to
of the
tell.
large scale ones. Is that
yeah,
a master grade?
you know
no,
what?
I
Let
think-
me.
no,
I'm gonna go
this
to my
one is-
email. Hang on.
I
You
believe
guys
this one is
talk amongst
RG.
yourselves.
So I think this is 1 to 144. Actually,
Okay.
the smaller scale, but
That's
Okay,
not-
it looks larger.
That's a
yeah,
nice
Yeah.
paint
this
job.
kit itself
I knew.
is one of
I knew
the
Gundam
bigger ones.
real grade RG.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what he said here. All right.
That's a nice paint job on. Is that a shield? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Actually, I think this is it's consists of several pieces and
Mm.
yeah.
Typical nice looking fit. So that's Bandai for you.
I do have to build one of these.
Yes, you do. All right, Johnny. See, this is why I had you unmuted. Make sure you finished chewing. All right, what do we got here, pal?
Yeah, this is my work in progress of my 1-year build. I still don't think. Okay, my goal right now is finish the lower hall.
You'll have it done. You're doing it in the fine tradition, waiting to the absolute last minute, Johnny.
Right, and these ones, I believe the
Sorry.
left and the right, the leftmost and rightmost are the fuel storage, and
Right.
the middle two are the just heat exhaust, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, the engine should go in middle. And these two are the 3D printed tracks by T-Rex. They are better than I expected. Very easy to assemble. I don't need to do anything to the, like, no sanding, no cutting to anything at all.
They
and
look
no
very
glue.
nice.
Yeah.
Johnny, what are the pins? Are the pins 3D printed as well, or are they metal
Yes,
pins?
you see in the box there are a few pins there. If you can see that.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
And yeah, there are two types. One is the inner side, one is the outer side. The outer has a bigger bulb at the end.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking at files trying to find some 3D files of tracks, but nothing yet, because I'd like to be able to print my own track sometime in the future.
Look at
Mm.
this.
Look at this
And this
engine.
is the engine.
Johnny, what's your plan? What's your paint plan for this? How do you plan on approaching this?
I don't know. I try to find some pictures. I don't really see a colored picture of a real engine, but according to the instruction, it's just dark gray.
But I'm just wondering because it looks fairly complex. So, I mean, do you give it all a coat of flat black and then work from there? Like, how would you approach that?
Yeah, I will first take off is that fan? I'm not sure if what's on the top, like the two square block.
Right.
I didn't glue that on, so I can take that off, and those should be white. And I will paint the rest together in dark gray, and then I will maybe give some light gray on the pipes, and then use enamel wash to give it some rust.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how you do this. This will be interesting. It'd be great if you take pictures as you go, just so we can sort of see the process.
Sure.
Because I've always wondered, like, there used to be a debate ages ago. Do you pre-paint the parts before you glue them, or do you glue them together and then paint them? And when you have a complex assembly like this, I've often wondered, how would you?
Yeah, I think the parts are too small to paint first, then assemble.
Right. And also, I've always worried about the glue not holding properly if you pre-paint, and then how do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice, Johnny.
Nice job.
Okay, Mr. Tucker.
Oh,
I put the church stuff first and then the gargoyles at the end.
okay. Yeah, this is using some foam core board, and the windows are 3D printed and the columns are 3D printed. Now, after all said and done, I did not use the 3D printed columns because, one, it would have used up a heck of a lot of resin, and secondly, they kind of didn't suit the style that they're more, Roman style rather than Gothic.
Yep.
So in the end, later on, like, I made my own pillars out of just expanded styrene foam, that pink stuff that you get from the Home Depot, places like that. And then I used my hot wire foam cutter to cut strips and squares and everything, and fabricated some pillars.
Very nice.
But I printed all the windows and the rosette window on my printer.
That's gorgeous, that rosette.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that came out neat for sure.
That came
What's
out
with
very well.
what's with the flying monkeys on the roof?
We're
That's
getting there.
gargoyles.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Patience. Bloody lawyers, I tell you, always in a hurry.
Yeah, and these are some spires that I'll use on the tower, the bell tower on the top.
That's, the little balls are for the gargoyle, doesn't get uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
sitting all day on it. There we go.
Gargoyles like little balls. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it beats the alternative if they got to sit on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I found, of course, went to Thingiverse and put in gargoyle, and this little guy pops up. So I scaled them to kind of suit what I was doing and printed off a few of them.
Are those 1/4 inch? What's the dimension of those squares?
Yeah, 1/4 inch on there. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty small little guy. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, of course, is 1 centimeter squares on there. So.
How much cleanup did you have to do after the
Well,
printing?
you can see, like, on the one that's like on the front left there.
Yeah.
See a couple of little dots on the right wing.
Yep. Yeah.
Right, that's the little pips left from the supports. Because when I printed him, I laid him like with his kind of laying back with his wings out, like on a 45-degree angle. And I did that so that, like, all the face detail and everything would come out without having to have any supports to it.
I see.
Because when you orientate the models in the printer, you want to put the sections where the supports are going to be on the least, seen side, or in an area that's easy to clean up.
Yeah, it looks super smooth. The skin, the flesh looks really smooth.
No, I got to go back to the window here. Let me find it here. That is just, that rosette just is gorgeous. Well, both of them are. Both window patterns are just absolutely gorgeous, Ron. Well done.
Are you going to do a stained glass effect on that rosette window?
I was thinking about it, but I said no. I might try some of that stuff later, like on the main windows and things like that. But these were a bit small. They're a bit small for trying to do something like that.
You can print on acetate.
True.
Yeah, that's something to think about. Yeah.
Well, what I was thinking is like if I can find some stained glass that would kind of fit those windows, and then of course with it being printed on acetate, that would work really, really well to do that.
And in theory, if you have the pattern, in theory, you should be able to export something into 2D. that would do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah, no, good idea. No, just
What-
gorgeous.
What's your end game with this diorama, Ron? What are you going to do with
Well,
it?
it's kind of going to be like a universal diorama, if you will, like to put like either armor or sci-fi or just about it. At first, I'm going to put that six-legged walker and the Space Marines
Yeah.
in front of all this, but I'm going to have it so that they're removable. So I can, then I can put a tank in front of it if I want, just to take pictures of and things like that,
Great
That's
idea.
a great idea. Great idea.
Very cool. Well done, Ron.
Yeah, and there's a couple of more pictures there, I think, of those gargoyles painted.
I didn't get any. I'm sorry, Ron.
Really? I thought I sent those.
Hang on. I could be a liar. Hang on. That's happened before.
Could be.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for, I'm waiting for Jeff.
Some more
And then
pictures
plus
well.
the new pillars that I made for it, they should be there too.
All right, hang on.
I did see them on Facebook. I did see you post them on Facebook.
Where did they go? This was today because you sent them to me today,
Yes.
didn't you? So I was rushing, I'm afraid. Oh, yeah, you did. Okay, hang on a sec. I will share my screen. Let me see here. All right. You guys see my Gmail?
Yeah.
Yep.
All
Yep,
right,
I
hang
s-
on. I think this is one. There we go,
I see.
Ron.
I see the picture with the gargoyles impaled on spikes.
Yeah. See, that's why they're looking grumpy.
Yeah, I would.
And those other two at the bottom didn't come out, those pictures I see on the screen there?
No, that's the only one that looks like I didn't add. I don't have one of the of your. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, oh, there's your pillars. I'm sorry. I will add those. For some reason, they didn't display. Yeah, those pillars look nicer now. I agree with you. Very nice.
Yeah, we can't see them on the screen though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on.
We can see you looking at the computer, but
Oh, hang on. Let's try that. How about that now?
Yeah.
that looks
There you
better.
go.
Well, anything
looks
anything looks better than me. I know that. That's why I have a face for radio.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I the front portions of those pillars were just square that I cut 45-degree angles on the front face. And then the rest is just strips and squares cut on my wire cutter.
Very cool.
Looks great.
Yep. Just stunning work as always, Ron.
Never ceases to amaze me what you can do with, stuff you find around the house.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's like foam core board and an $8 piece of 1 inch by 2 foot by 2 foot pink foam.
Yeah.
That I've sliced up.
All righty. And then we'll go back. We'll share. I think last but not least, or last and least, is me, because I actually remembered to add something this month. This is the second thing in my Canadian What If RCAF stuff. This was again purchased. One was purchased from the Brofdale stash. It is the very old Italerary YF23. So I put it into a Canadian scheme, did a what if, called it the CF, and I'm always mixing it up. 2, 2, 3. So this is what if after they lost the advanced fighter competition, they decided to approach some NATO countries. So yeah, very, very simple kit. I didn't worry about a lot of, some basic filling in that. The worst part about these was the tail planes. There is literally a 1 millimeter grab point for the tail plane. So the right one came off twice during painting with the appropriate amount of language. So, but I'm kind of pleased. Came out well. Again, used some various decals. The squadron markings from a CF-18 set I got from Mr. Dawson recently, and all the rest are from our IPMS sheets. So they turned out really well. So yeah, and the next one I'm working on, obviously you guys have seen, is this Jerry Anderson Interceptor, and it's going to be another What If Canadian scheme. So that is everything.
Oh, I had pictures.
You have pictures, Kevin. You can share. Go ahead, my friend.
Oh, okay.
Well, Kevin did send them to you, Stuart.
Did he?
Yeah, because he copied me and I got them.
Hang on.
That was yesterday or 2 days ago, I think.
Yeah,
Terrible.
I've got them. I can share.
Terrible. Terrible. How did I miss that? I'm sure I did a count.
Terrible.
Okay.
There we go.
Terrible, I say.
Okay. So that's the T33. It's the Academy
Nice.
148 scale T33 that I got from Jeff's estate sale charity drive. That's the front, and there's the Belcher bits Canadian markings. If I do that, then there's the back side. Yeah, it's just quick. It was a really nice build, and I'm glad I was able to get it from you, Jeff, because that was it was fun to build.
I'm glad it worked out. I mean, it's a nice, clean job.
Yeah, it goes together very nicely. It was very easy. And since I don't have an airbrush, I just use the testers. I put testers primer on it and then testers aluminum out of a rattle can.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Yeah. So that's my contribution.
Sorry about that, Kevin. I'm going to go
Oh,
back
no
and I'll
problem.
find it and I'll add it to the slideshow. That's
Okay.
terrible.
Oh, no problem.
All right. Anyone else have anything they want to show off tonight?
I also sent you my pictures of my Gundam
Yeah,
with
go
the
ahead.
same email.
Go ahead, share your screen. Now, I know you didn't send me those, so.
I
When
sent
Johnny's
you
done,
the
I've
same
got
email.
something too.
All right, go ahead, Johnny.
Okay. Let me find it in my computer first. You really didn't receive those?
I just got the tank ones.
I think they're in the same email.
Hang on.
You're
hang
having
on.
trouble this week.
I
this
am
month,
just,
sir.
well, what story of my life, right? I blame the heart attack.
Well, while you guys are sorting things out, I thought it would be useful. I'm not sure how many of you follow us on Facebook or listen to the podcast that Stuart does, but
I found
we had a great, Terry, Stuart, and I had a great interview for the podcast that'll be coming out on Sunday with the guys from Above Below Graphics and Can Mill Air, and all of the Can Mill Air decal for Canadian military subjects. Their whole catalog is being published again, and you can get them through abovebelow.ca. And if you go to that website and start digging through their catalog, you'll be going into a rabbit hole. It's just so much fun.
All three of us, both Jeff and Terry and I, we were both all three of us were kind of going, yeah, I need to make an order.
Yeah, I found at least 5 sets that I have to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, it did say that they were print on demand. Does that mean they can change some of the things?
Yes, they can. They can change
a
some
little bit.
numbers. They can change it a little bit, but they can, change. They said they can change pilot ID and
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
call
print on
numbers,
demand
things like that.
print on demand normally means they print it as someone orders it.
Yeah.
They are willing to do some custom work. It all depends what it is.
Yeah.
So,
But high
okay.
quality stuff and definitely worth taking a look at.
I don't know why my email was being silly with some of these Gundam photos, but you should be seeing Johnny's fabulous Gundam riding looks like something that's going to kick ass and take names.
So it's the thing it's riding on is its backpack. So usually it's on his back, but he can just ride on it.
Oh,
or
that's
something.
good. Handy.
Okay.
You gotta be somewhere quick.
Yeah, and yeah, you can put on a different stance like this one as well. And yeah, I just sent you 3 pictures.
Yep.
Yeah, I painted using Mr. Color Paint. Goes on really nice. And one thing I forgot to do is like I didn't notice it myself, but after I posted on my Chinese social media, one of my friends told me, "Oh, you forgot to do pin wash on the shield." But other than that, I think it looks better than I expected because I actually have not built any Gundam for the past 4 years, and a lot of techniques are not exactly the same to building a tank. Yeah, and if I am building another one in the future, I will definitely do better. For example, I will use chisel to make all the panel lines deeper, and yeah, stuff like that.
So were you saying? So did you say one of your friends was being a rivet counter and saying,
No,
"Oh, you
no,
missed something."
no, just pin wash. Like,
Oh, okay.
You're talking about using a scraper or a chisel to chisel out lines. And when you were talking last time, you mentioned one of the modeling guys you follow,
yeah.
has produced them, but they sold out so quickly. Have you heard anything further on that?
He said they won't be able, like so we better wait 2 more months, and they may have another, or they will open the order again.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, very good. Mr. Bloppy, you say you had something?
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
So I got this little Japanese ramjet.
Oh
this
yeah,
one,
that's fine.
there was 2 kits in the box. I traded one away a number of years ago when I started mine. We were each going to do a build, and mine sat on the shelf for years. I don't know how long ago I started that. It must have been 5 or 6 years ago anyways, maybe 7 years ago. So I pulled it off the shelf, thought I would finish it. When I dug it off the shelf, it was basically just the underside was done the light color, the top was done the yellow color. So I dug it off the shelf to finish it, and there's the finished result there. So
Looks really
for the
good.
camouflage, I used the airbrush. This is 72nd scale, so that's maybe 5 inches wide. That's pretty tiny, this little model kit. So yeah, I just use my I've got a Grex airbrush with a 0.2 millimeter needle in it, so I freehanded the camouflage with that. The guns are some kind of aftermarket machine guns. I think they're MG32s or something. I don't know, but they look cool anyways. So I bought them from Ed Kubiak at the barrel store years ago. So I forgot they were in the box, so I came across them, so I stuck them on there. Don't ask me where the machine guns or the ammunition goes, because let's just pretend. All right, these things were intended to be dropped from a Japanese bomber would carry it to altitude, and then it would drop it, and it had these JATO rockets on the side, so to accelerate it up to speed for the ramjet. Although, of course, a real ramjet wouldn't have a fan on the front, right? But it's all notional, right? So,
Right.
The cockpit on this, I had some aftermarket resin seats, so I just threw one of those in there, painted it up. So it's always nice when you mask something and it's masked for 5 or 6 or 7 years, and you take the mask off, and your masking actually turned out pretty good. So, I was pretty happy about that. The decals on this project, there was only a few of them. And these ones went on beautifully. I had a nice gloss surface, and you can't even see the carrier film now on the wings or anything. So the decals went very well with that. It came with a little cart. It's a little styrene cart, and I didn't really like it that much. So I decided to rebuild it. So I just used some little wood strip that I had around here. I think that's a bunch of stuff for the model boat industry or something. It actually came from the collection of Walter P. Warren, who was a former club member who passed away a number of years ago. And I bought a huge giant cylinder of all this different types of wood stripping when his brother was selling a bunch of stuff at one of our last shows that we had before COVID there. So I bought the whole big bucket of wood. So I bought this little cart, and the axle is just a piece of aluminum tubing. I'm going to come in, I'm going to weather that tubing. I think it looks a little too shiny for my liking, but and the wheels are some kind of resin wheels I had kicking around. Used to make a lot of little just scrap flat pour molds, right, for parts when I was making other kits. And so I'd be pumping at all kinds of little wheels. So I got little bags and stuff full of wheels and that. So I just used those. I gave the thing a coat of, I think it was X22 clear, was sitting on my bench. So I just grabbed that and slapped some on there to sort of make the wood grain pop a little bit. So that's a little cart that it sits on. There's a front view there. This little main kit, or I guess it's Hmong is the proper pronunciation according to our Chinese expert here. And the thing that amazed me about this kit is the canopy fit beautifully, and when the wings slotted into the fuselage, they fit like so clean and so perfect. There's no filler at all on the wing seams, and they just fit at the perfect angle and everything. So it's these kits are just gorgeous little engineered kits.
But from that picture, if you look at that, that's the top of the seat. The pilot's crotch is right in the middle of that engine.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, right? It makes no
Air
sense at all.
conditioning. It's air conditioning.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
boy.
right.
Well, it's heating anyway.
Keeps things cool, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Or heating, maybe. Yeah. Right.
Yep.
So roasting on an open fire. So
Yeah.
anyways, So yeah, it's kind of funny. The other guy who was building one of these, he had modified the cockpit, was putting the pilot in there prone and stuff. So, anyways, there it is on a little base. These are picture frames I got. I got them at I think it was White Oaks Mall, had some kind of a gift shop place, and they had a stack of these picture frames out front. There's actually a sheet of glass under here with like a big letter on it.
Yeah.
And they were like 99 cents. So I bought like 20 of them or 10 of them or something. So I've got a box full. So I just will take a piece of the self-adhesive felt and just stick it in there. I thought about doing red felt, but there's already somebody in our, local community up here that uses red felt. So I don't want to be stealing his idea too much, but so I use green. I have green and blue felt I use for my model. So, I always like a model to be sitting on some kind of a base. So I thought I'll just stick it on there and stuck at my display case. So again, nice to have something done that was sitting on the shelf of shame for years. So from there, I'm moving on to my main GT40, the new one in 24 scale. So I finally got all the parts cleaned up, and I'm going to start doing some priming the next few days. So
excellent.
But I have yet to start my 1 year build, and I have yet to start my Phantom Challenge. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll finish the GT40, and then I'll start my 32nd scale X15 for the 1 year build. Maybe I can get her done by end of December.
See, Johnny, you got nothing to worry about. Some people haven't even started yet.
Right, Johnny? So yeah, so don't sweat it. And yeah, so anyways, I'm hoping I've still got 2 full weeks of holidays coming, so maybe before the end of the year I'll have time to finish her up.
Oh, hilarious. Looks good. Anyone else?
I'll show a couple things if you want.
Yeah, sure, Terry.
Yeah, please.
Where I have to go. Share my screen.
Yes, please. You turned off. We're waiting for your. Did it come? I'm waiting for it. We're waiting for it still. There we go, Terry.
You are sharing screen.
All right. On his iPad.
I are sharing screen.
Terry, how long have I known you, Terry? I think I met you like in 1996 on the Starship Modeler forums, right?
Yeah. So here we go.
I've known you longer than I've been married.
Pizza.
Pizza.
There you go, Dave.
Oh, nice.
TSR2.
Finally put the TSR2 Meteor Sweeper in the cabinet.
Very
I got to
good.
move it around a little bit though. So the two of note, that Spitfire up there, that was recently just finished and thrown in there. This is the top shelf of a 4-shelf cabinet. There she is.
Looks good.
Yeah.
I love the eclectic mix.
Oh, it's a huge mix.
Yeah. Guy after my own heart.
And then preview of the Crusher Joe Fighter.
Yeah,
Nice.
looks good. Looking really nice.
I see you have one of those Chiss Clawcraft hanging in your cabin. Is that the one that who was selling those? Was it John that was selling those?
Yeah, and it's a miscast. So what I did is I put a Greebly sensor thing on the front of it, so it's a droid Chiss.
So did I give you that miscast? Because I produced
Probably
like 100 of those for John.
Probably.
Okay, that's probably where you got it then. Yeah.
Yep. And I finally got Emily's mech in there too.
Good stuff. That looks nice. I like the modulation on that.
Yeah, and with her baseball bat, because she's a melee
baseball
fighter.
bat. Yeah.
That mech is really calling somebody out on something bad.
Oh, she's calling her kill. Yep.
Yeah.
Whatever was the largest enemy out there, that's what she went right at. I don't think there's anything newer on here. These are the bits for the Musaru Cup.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Lots of stuff.
Now that we have a date, he knows what he's working on.
Yep, I got a new paint stand.
Those are great. Yeah, I have one of those. So we should also point out they announced for Wonderfest, where that's one of the sci-fi and monster and all that conventions down in the States, and you'll often find Terry and Dave and some of the gang there. They announced Nicholas Meyer, who did quite a few movies, including Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan. So they're actually calling this year's Wonderfest The Wrath of Khan, C-O-N, because believe it or not, gentlemen, that movie is 40 years old. Yeah, we're
Man.
old.
Yeah,
We're old.
yeah.
We're all
We are
old.
so old.
It's not funny. It's absolutely not funny. Yeah, we're all very old. So yeah, a lot of good guests coming, and always a good one as well. So definitely cool. So yeah. So anyone else have any other comments or news or no? All
Oh,
right.
here you go.
Thanks.
Oh,
Here you go, Stu.
the P43. Very nice.
Is that a 3D printed one?
Oh, look, Bill's got the box.
There you
That's
go.
the little brother.
Yes, that's it. Dora
This is
wing.
the little brother to that one.
Oh,
This is
Dora
70
wing. Yeah,
seconds.
okay.
No, this is the P43.
Yeah,
That's
That's
what
a
he's got there. He's
48,
got the
right?
box there.
No, this is the 43.
Same plane.
Yep.
yeah, it is. This is 72nd scale though.
Oh, okay.
And I'm a Lancer fanatic. I love them. Yeah, see the
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's in progress. I had to make new cowl flaps for it.
And I still
Yeah,
haven't
what-
got my Lund, my Acranoplane.
It'll come soon enough.
I'm very disappointed.
I know. It's not that you have much to do already ahead of that in the queue.
No, I do. I have tons. Once I wind up with the workshop again, yeah, I got lots online.
Yeah.
So
Well, hey,
Jeff,
Jeff, when you
if
decide
you,
to start your plane, let me know, and I'll start mine too, and we'll build them at the same time.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. I'd like that.
Because I got nothing but time, so
What? What's up with you?
no, nothing's up with me. I'm just being funny. Like I'm gonna start another project, right?
Oh, I
That's
see.
like
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
team build.
I just
Well, no.
watched on Andy's hobby headquarters, he was building a test build of it, like a pre-release of the
Mm,
Lund.
Yeah.
And he said that they'll be available in December.
Well, Dave already got his.
I've got one. I ordered on eBay straight from China.
From China,
It's like-
from a Ukrainian company. It's hilarious.
No, it's made by Tacom, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the
Tacom, yeah,
TACOM
sure.
one we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tacom. Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce that either, but yeah. No,
Well.
they showed up on eBay early. There's an eBay buyer on there in China. What he does is you pay like 13 or 14 bucks shipping. Like most stuff from China is free shipping, right? But in this case, you got to pay like 12 or 13 bucks, but it comes in like 2.5 weeks because they're filling containers, then they're sticking them on aircraft and they're shipping them into either Pearson or Vancouver, right? And then they ship the kit out of we got a warehouse in Toronto somewhere, because mine always comes from some place on Silver Dart Drive down in Toronto, Ontario.
Right by the
Right.
airport.
So they repack them. They unload the container from the plane, they repack it, and they ship them out. So that's how I got my GT40 that way, and I got that from the same eBay seller. So they must
Wow.
have a pipeline coming right out of the factory on the
Well,
airplane.
right now, not much is coming out of Vancouver because all the roads are washed out. You can't get to Vancouver now from the rest of
Right?
Canada right now.
Can't get food.
Dang.
Isolated. Yeah.
Yep, they're isolated. But
Well, they found out that
excess rain and global warning is not a thing, right?
the plane that Abbotsford is on is actually a lake that was drained.
Yeah, I know. That was silly, Ray.
Well, that's
It's
interesting.
filled up again.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
and
look at all this open space. Let's just build something there.
yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, in the wetlands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well.
So we
Let's
did
just
do
be
we did do the podcast on the week, and I just wanted to point out a couple of goodies that were there. Let's see here. So for those of you who haven't got enough 132nd scale Lancasters, they got the Grand Slam edition came out. You know, the one that sunk the Tirpitz. Just what everyone needs, right? That's going to be nice. And then the other one that we found fascinating was obviously Tecom finally made a 172nd scale Missouri turret you can get now.
Wow.
Yep.
You can build a ship around it.
Well, pretty well. I know that's the rumor. And this is the
So
third
what's up
thing.
next? What's up next? The hood?
Maybe that's all I can
Why
think of.
not?
Yeah.
This one was cool. I thought, what a great idea, because you've seen cutaway ship models of, say, the U.S. Constitution, the sailing ships, but I had never seen one where they've taken it to a more modern ship, the USS Ronald Reagan.
Well, that's
That's
slick.
crazy.
And what they do is you get the base kit and then you can decide, if you want the lights, you can, order 330 pieces of 350th scale furniture and equipment. And the aircraft, you get 12 and you can decide what aircraft you want. So it's mostly F-18s and E2s, but still.
I think that's poorly worded. I think you just get all those planes and you can decide what to put on the deck or whatever.
I'm not sure. See, it says
I think
available
that's
aircraft
poorly-
includes E-18G growlers and EC2 and Ds. Can be decided by the buyer based on the need.
And
So
there
I'm
is a
not sure.
separate kit with planes in them. So
Yeah.
whether you just want to add more, I don't know. But this
there's
thing
a lighting
reminds me
set.
of, do you remember in the 60s, they had those cutaway nuclear submarines, the
Yep.
USS George Washington and that? This kind of reminds me of that.
Well, these guys do quite a bit. Like they do a lot of World War II stuff as well.
So it may
So,
be all 3D printed, is it, Stuart?
yeah. And like they do little tiny miniatures and stuff like that. I thought they had their website here. Hang on a second.
There it is. Websites and social links, no links.
Yeah. See, this is what I hate when people go on Facebook. Hang on. Because they did have a site. Here we go. Because they do 1 to 4,000 warships for basically wargaming. And then they also do like a lot of Japanese carrier planes, 350th. Like, look at these tiny.
Holy moly.
Yeah, they do dollhouse miniatures, little dioramas, like
Markers.
tokens, markers.
Interesting.
Yeah, anime miniatures, stuff like that. But yeah, they're quite into a bunch of different things. But yeah, so I like the fact it says from 19. No, the base thing's 249, and then you can get your various other sets. So you get- yeah, 79 for the 12 aircraft and decal sheets, 19 for the electronics, and
$40 for the
40 bucks for the-
330 pieces of furniture and equipment, including a sofa.
well, you got to have your sofa.
You
Someone's
got to have a
nap.
sofa at sea.
You got to have a sofa. Someone's got to take a nap. So
I can see people going crazy on this.
well, especially if you don't have a lot of room. It's like what they did with the Hong Kong. Was it Hong Kong did with the Lancaster with just the nose art section?
This is it here.
Yeah, right there. All right, what Harold's got. Hang on, we'll spotlight Harold.
So this is the 32nd scale, and this is a
Oh,
Sea
wow.
King in 72nd scale.
Oh my God, that's huge.
Yeah, so you can imagine
it's massive. I
you can imagine the whole thing.
I had a ruler. Well, a knife. You know how big a knife is, so.
Yeah,
That is
you
massive.
can imagine the whole aircraft, eh?
Oh man, yeah, and that's just
Yeah.
a cockpit. I didn't buy any more of that.
No, good for you. No, I'd like to see more manufacturers do that. So that'd be kind of neat. So yeah. All right. Well, if no one else has anything else, we'll just stop the recording and we'll move into the build session then, gentlemen. And